Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. We are not at the studio today, but we are in fact in my apartment because we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. What I'm going to be doing today in my apartment is that I'm going to recreate this photo here. I think I might put it on this side. This photo is a self-portrait that I took during March. I think it was March 30th of 2020 when the pandemic was just beginning in the United States, and we went on to lockdown in March 14th of 2020. So I wanted to recreate something in a small space that was representative of what I was feeling, but also what was happening in the world at the same time. So as you see here, I am using a lot of newspaper articles to kind of create like a room for me. And it's just showing all of like the titles and the stories that are talking about either Biden and Trump or the pandemic that was about to occur. And of course, we all thought it was just going to be 2 weeks and everything was going to be back to normal. So a lot of our mindsets were not that dark at this time, even though many people were losing their lives fairly quickly due to this scary virus. But a lot of people were still hopeful. Unfortunately, we did not obviously only have 2 weeks of lockdown. It was quite the opposite. And even for me, I am someone who is immunocompromised, so I was already afraid from the beginning when all of this was transpiring. And as a creative, I needed to help alleviate the fear that I was feeling. So this is why I did this self-portrait. Going to recreate this now because I think it's a pivotal moment in our timeline. We are 5 years after COVID even was a thing in our community, and I just want to see how the media is portraying it now, but also because I think it would be a really cool way to show who I was before and who I am now. I remember how I felt back then, so to be in this place right now and recreate this 5 years later is very crazy to me and also inspiring in some way. I don't know if you haven't noticed, but newspapers are kind of obsolete now. These will all be online articles that I found and printed out. And having to get online clippings was a bit more disconnected. At least that's how it made me feel. Of course, what they're talking about on these online articles are just as important as things you would see in a newspaper, but that's just kind of like something that I was seeing the difference in as I was thinking about redoing this photo and recreating it just 5 years later. The first time I did this, I had no equipment whatsoever. I had a tripod, my camera, and one light. I am in my apartment, so I don't even have a C-stand to work with, and I do only have my constant lights. I think what I liked about wanting to recreate this is the idea of doing something so simple but profound at the same time. And anyone can do this. You don't even need a light. You can use natural light if you want to. And I think the idea is still the same and it's still very powerful. Now all I need is to find a space in my apartment, set up the articles that I found online, and tape them to the wall in a way that I think will be appealing. I'm gonna take you all along to see the process. And of course, this is all gonna be kind of MacGyvered. I'm someone who, when I have an idea, I have to do it or I'm not gonna do it. And I could do this in my studio. I could have it a bit more planned out or go to different cities and get their newspapers and see what they say about COVID on there. But I think, and I don't know if this is just me or if there are other creatives that are like that. Once you have an idea in your head, you have to do it however it may look. That's the point of the journey, and that's where I'm at right now. So let us get to it. I'm excited. I'm also a little sore. I went to the gym yesterday, so bear with me. And yeah, I am ready to recreate this photo from 2020 to 2025 now. These are the clippings that I found on the internet. There's science news. This is health news. What is this? COVID was declared a pandemic 5 years ago. We're still poorly prepared for the next one. That's kind of scary, honestly. I'm just like, oh no. What I'm going to be doing now is that I want to kind of visually see which ones I want to post up onto my wall. The only issue that I'm having that I didn't have when I was doing the newspaper one is the newspaper is like visual, right? You can see what it is, you can see the titles, and these articles, I mean, this one's not bad. This is actually a pretty good, you know, size, and there's also a photo. But a lot of the other articles that I was printing out are very small, and even the titling is kind of crappy. So I don't know if there's going to be enough good articles in here. I'm hoping. I need these. That's the whole point, is to show what newspapers online are talking about. And the sad thing about all of this is that it's very political. Even though people have lost their lives, even though this was global and affecting the whole world basically, it's still very divisive, and people still have their thoughts and beliefs, which they have a right to. But it's still kind of sad to see that human beings can be like this when there's proof that people have died, over 1 million, as stated here. This is weekly from January 2020 to 2025 of January. That 1 million deaths occurred. And there's some people out there that don't think people died at all. And I already can hear people like, oh, art shouldn't be political, but I beg to differ. Now that I looked through all of the web articles, I am going to be taping them onto my wall. This is not going to be exactly to the T as the photos I took in 2020, but that's to be expected, and that is okay. And I think I'm just saying that to try to remind myself that it's okay, because I am a little disappointed that I won't be using newspapers, but I'm also not that disappointed because when I did do the photo shoot in 2020 with the newspapers, I had ink all over my clothes, my hands, my walls even. So this is also probably gonna benefit me in the long run anyway. Now I just gotta figure out how to organize it to make it look good, but also impactful at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to be like sitting where this big hole is that we have to spackle over, or I can use this to help me make it straight. And maybe I can add like, first one is up. Now a lot more to go. I had to print out a few extra articles because it seemed a little bare, and unfortunately it's not my favorite. Definitely the 2021 was my favorite, but we're still going to keep going. Doesn't this look like that guy, the meme guy, where he has like the red yarn and he's like pointing and looking really weird, kind of like a conspiracy theorist? Well, yeah, that's how this is kind of looking. It's not really the vibe I wanted to go for, but we are where we are, so we just might as well accept it at this point. Now it's just me trying to set up my camera, the light, and get the shots. The light that I'm going to be using is this small Godox SL100 bicolor, and it is a constant light, but it's pretty powerful and it's small-ish. And it's what I have right now at my apartment, so we're gonna work with what we got. The only issue is that I don't have a C-stand with me, so I am going to be using this ladder that I have. Put this on top of the ladder and hopefully it won't fall and be broken, and it will still do the job of a C-stand. The camera that I'm going to be using is my trusty Sony a7R5 with my 24-70 G Master 2 lens. I think you can do this with any camera, even your iPhone if you want it, or your Android. Don't let this camera fool you and make you think that you need something this big to create what I'm going to create, because you really don't. The tripod that I'm going to be using is this Neewer NW108R. Again, this is what I have at my apartment right now, so it's a tripod and it's still really good. It feels sturdy, it's gonna get the job done. Now I'm going to set everything up and hopefully it's going to work, but this is all trial and error. And I want to be honest, most of my self-portrait shoots are all trial and error. It's whatever's in my head sometimes doesn't come out properly in the real world. So you just gotta work with what you have. The one thing I don't like is that I am the said model. I am really insecure and uncomfortable being in front of the lens, at no fault to anybody, but just my own confidence and lack thereof. But this is something that I know is really important to me and I want to start doing more of, because I did a lot of self-portraits in 2020 and I think I miss it, even though it was really humbling and made me really look at myself in a different way. And I think us as photographers, and I'm not trying to go off a tangent right now, but this is really important. I think us as photographers, we play into this role of what standardized beauty looks like, because we are the photo makers. And I don't ever really see people like me in my body type in conceptual work or surrealist work, even self-portraiture. And I understand that may not be the case fully. I'm sure there's someone out there that's killing it and doing phenomenal, but you don't really see a lot of it because we're constantly fed this standardized beauty. And it didn't affect me as much in 2020 the way it is now. I've become more aware of my body physically, especially because I've gotten sick and I have gained weight due to the medicine that I'm on, but also because it's been hard for me, and the type of autoimmune disorder I have, it affects my thyroid. So it's been really complicated and I've been very insecure in myself, and I really am trying my best not to be, because I can preach self-love and beauty to all of my clients, but if I'm not believing in it myself, then I feel like I'm a liar. So I'm gonna do my best to do more self-portraitures like this, just to go back to the place that I used to be at, where I was actually enjoying being in front of the camera and loving the creative mind that I had, rather than focusing on the body that I'm in. I had to love this body because this is the only one I have right now, and even though it tries to kill me multiple times out of the year, true story, I need to be okay with it and love how I am and love what it is, even though the world tells me I can't love myself. So I think I might have to actually push the ladder a little bit further back so that the light is not directly on me. Okay, let's keep This looks so unsafe right now, but it's all I have. So we're gonna work with it. Yikes, I hope I don't drop it. Just as expected, it is still a little too bright in here to take the photo, so I'm going to have to wait a little later on. I guess I can just change into that outfit that I'm going to be wearing. I don't have the exact clothes because it is 5 years later, but oh my gosh. I should have brought a C-stand. So it's been about a few hours. It is dark now. As you can see, I am also changing into an outfit that's similar to what I was wearing last time. I have another hat, but it like fits funny, but let me see how it looks with that one. I think this might have to be the hat. I don't wear hats like I used to. I'm going to take my plate right now, and there's like a 2-second timer on it, just because once I throw the articles around, I want to make sure that I have time to like run and do it. Okay, it's looking a little dark on the screen, but that's fine. I can always brighten it up in post. Now I'm gonna try to place myself where I want the thing to fall, the article. Too early, dang it. Now I have to try to make sure I time it properly. This is the fun part. Too early again. I think there was one like really low. Early again, dang it. Trying and trying and trying. Now that I got my clear plate and then also the photos of the extra articles floating around me, I think I'm going to add some articles just on the floor in a messy type of order, or you know, just to give the floor a bit of character, because in the previous image I had newspapers also taped to the floor, but I don't want to tape these to the floor because I'm lazy, and I don't think it'll make it look any cooler if it was taped to the floor. If anything, it'll just look like all pieces of white paper. So I'm gonna just have some of these on the floor, and then it's time to finally get the portrait started. So this is the final look. It's definitely not something I would wear now. I mean, maybe it is if I had like a belt or something, but I'm really trying not to wear a belt right now. This is my puppy Rowan. Say hi, Rowan. Hopefully she's not in the shot because she's really needy lately. But yeah, so this is the outfit. Excuse me, ma'am. And I did the best that I can to try to recreate it, but let's get to it because I am exhausted. And my little one over here is crying as usual. Now I just gotta change the timer to be a little longer so I can run there. Okay. I'm gonna do a few more tries. I am hot, and I think I need to have my face a bit more. Workout. I should be freaking fit right now. Well, I think I got it. It's not the best, but I think I got it. So I'm gonna show it to you, and then I will show the final edit right here somewhere. Does it look good? I hope it looks good. It should look good. I don't know. It was a journey to get here and take these photos, to try my best to do more portraits, and just have fun with photography again, even if I'm the model in the process. It can be hard though to be the photographer, the model, the stylist, the hairstylist, the makeup artist, and the editor all in one. I hope you enjoyed me showing the process of how something like this comes to fruition for me. It's not always 100% thought out, but it definitely is done. And I keep trying to tell myself done is better than perfect. So I did it anyway, even though I don't have a lot of the necessary things. But back then I didn't either, and I learned a lot of my editing using my own photos that I took of myself. So I wanted to bring it back to that time period and just have fun with it, and hopefully maybe have a spark to do this more often and remind myself that I am the creator of the art, but I am also the art itself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.